Charleston celebrates its 350th anniversary this year, and to commemorate that, Charleston Pirate Tours brings you Charleston History Highlights. Hi, Eric with Charleston Pirate Tours. I'm downtown in Charleston on a windy evening down here at White Point Gardens. I want to tell you a story about our flag. Now, a lot of people have seen our state flag and wondered, what do those things on the flag symbolize? And how did it begin? Well, it actually was used for the very first time when it flew over Sullivan's Island at Fort Sullivan, later known as Fort Moultrie. Now, the flag was a solid blue flag, and it had a crescent in the corner. Now, people have debated over the years, what does that crescent mean? Well, some people think it's the moon. Pretty much everybody knows it's not the moon, even though it does look kind of cool, thinking it might be. But it's either one of two things. It's either the sign of a second-born son, or the gorget, symbolizing the gorget that they used to wear around their necks, which is a metal piece, a decorative piece on their uniforms. I kind of lean toward the second-born son, because if you look at the gorget, the edges are rounded, but this is a very sharp-pointed crescent. Now, why second-born sons? Because we know a lot of those second-born sons that actually started this colony 350 years ago actually came from Barbados. And these second-born sons went there because, of course, first-born sons inherit everything. So they go down to Barbados, and then many of them came here as the colony in the colony's earliest days. Well, either way, you got this solid blue flag with the crescent, the word liberty written on it. Now, you've already heard the story of the Battle of Sullivan's Island that my wife told earlier, when poor old Peter Parker got his britches blown off. But something happened in that battle before that event. That was when the flag that was flying over that fort came down. In the heat of this battle, that blue flag was knocked down by British fire. Well, now, of course, if a flag comes down in a battle, that's a sign of surrender. So rather than have everybody over here on these ships think, we've defeated them, they've taken down their flag, there's a statue of a guy right behind me here, Sergeant William Jasper. Now, he saw what had happened, and he also knew the significance of that flag coming down. So what did he do? He raced out into all of that gunfire, cannon fire, coming at that fort from those British ships. Raced out there, scooped up that flag, his famous quote of, "Don't let us fight without our colors." Tied it to the rod, the sponge rod of the cannon, stuck it back up on top of that fort, and dove back into the fort. And the battle raged on. So he was a hero when he saved the flag. He tried that later on in the war at another fort. Didn't end so well. He got cut in half with a cannonball, but that's, of course, another story. Well, so now we also know from an earlier story that they originally built that fort, when we gave you the history of Fort Moultrie, out of the palmetto palm trees that were growing wild over on that island. And because of the significance of those trees, with the British cannonballs bouncing off of these trees as if they were rubber, that's why that became our state flag, and that is why it holds the prominent place, dead center of our state flag today. So that's a little history about this statue if you ever come to White Point and wonder, who in the world is this guy up on a pedestal? Sergeant William Jasper. Happy birthday, Charleston.